5 years back, only 2 million people used to use mobile internet in India, in real sense. People who used to invoke the browsers themselves. Today, over 40 million people use mobile internet. So the growth is phenomenal. In the last 5 years, from 2 million to 50 million. As the market size has increased, so has the inclination of using mobile internet in various ways. And interestingly, mobile social networking has been on the forefront of as the biggest use case of mobile internet. Today, mobile social network like RockeTalk are actually hitting the revenues, SMS revenues of every operator, because the people are using more social networks on mobile to interact with each other, with their friends, versus the traditional SMS route. And it has, on RockeTalk, we have reasons to believe and data to prove that it is also, since RockeTalk is a voice network, it is also affecting the voice revenue for our operators. So you can imagine every day on RockeTalk, every 24 hours, RockeTalk users do 135 million of multimedia messaging streams. So 135 million messaging streams every 24 hours, around 1.5 billion streams in a month. So if you can do a backward calculation with that, the amount of revenue that the operator is getting one way or the other, is quite apparent. But the same point, operators now making more revenue through data. And actually, this is a worldwide practice. If you look at all developed markets, operators typically make extremely low revenue from voice, but high revenue from data. And I think that trend that we'll start seeing here also. And as operator becomes more aggressive on pushing data, the market size will increase, and as the market size will increase, the networks will increase. Initially, when we started out, we were most of the audience wasn't tied to cities. The reason was that 3.5-4 years back when we started out in India, as I said, there were only 2 million mobile internet users. These mobile internet users were not in cities. They were actually in tied to towns and we call these users mobile first users. They were the ones who were using internet on their mobiles as the first screen. Now, as the mobile internet has started becoming active in cities, so is happening with RockeTalk also. Today, around 25% of RockeTalk users come from metros, but still 75% comes from tier 1 towns, as the market size is increasing there in that section more. But we expect this to actually equal out in next 9 months or so, where we expect that more than 50% of our users will start coming from metros also, because we're growing very, very rapidly in metros now. We started out monetizing our inventory this year, January onwards. We've been fortunate to work with all the top tier brands, consumer brands in India at this point of time. So Nokia, Samsung, Google, Perfetti, Pepsi, Coke, NIT, all of these are the regular brands on RockeTalk today. And what we've been trying to do with these brands is that we're trying to move away from a basic display network-based ads. We're trying to create new formats every day of mobile ads, because mobile is a very different medium, and RockeTalk is a very different platform than just a basic display system. It's an audio-visual platform where you can take feedback from the audience every day. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to create newer formats which plays to our strength, and give brand a higher mind share of the audience versus just a plain banner display ad. So what we try to do at RockeTalk is that we try to place brand as a content, in the usual communication stream of RockeTalk for the audience. Hence, user plays and consumes brand as a content. Hence the higher mind share, higher engagement, higher audibility. More than 3 lakh people in India came and played Nokia Antakshari. Over 3 billion people, 3.5 million people viewed of all these songs that were run. A typical gameplay for one gameplay was around 23 minutes. So we did a calculation, and around more than 100 million minutes were consumed in people playing this game. So you can imagine, when a typical brand runs a TVC, a typical TVC runs for anywhere between 18 to 20 seconds, and it runs between a lot of other TVCs, right? So the kind of brand, is able to capture any kind of mind share. Whereas, every gameplay is 23 minutes. So you're engaging with the brand for 23 minutes. we recently concluded another campaign which essentially was called YouTube PRBT. Now we realized that CRBT has been a kick-ass application in mobile. What we did with PRBT, we created a social recommendation engine where Sameer as a user is then taking a YouTube Olympic anthem as a part of his audio profile. That means all of Sameer friends, when they come on my profile, they hear that anthem automatically, and then they take it as my recommendation to them, and then they can take it back. In a matter of 3 weeks, more than 1 lakh people, users got YouTube anthem as their PRBT, and more than 2 million people actually heard that anthem.
The Olympics anthem.
The Olympics anthem. We did an amazing campaign for Samsung, which was called Samsung Star Chand Ki Khoj, where we created the whole idea about smartphones is based on intelligence. So we said it's the users who are intelligent, hence they need intelligent phones. So we created an IQ based questionnaire based contest, where after playing 18 questions, the system is calculating your mental score, hence suggesting you the right phone based on around your need structure.
From the Samsung phone.
From the Samsung area of smartphones, and over 1 lakh people came and played that game. In a matter of 2 weeks, we created a reality show called Channel V Exhaust Wake-a-thon, where we got users to be awake from 11 in the night to 11 in the morning, and every 15 minutes they were getting a question about Channel V and Exhausted, which is a reality game show about being awake. So you can imagine, again I said, typical brand consumes 16 to 18 seconds. Here, thousands and thousands of people being awake from 11 in the night to 11 in the morning. 12 hours of integration with the brand.
Right.
So every day we are creating breaking new ground. Where we're getting much more fun solutions for brands, which are higher engagement, higher engagement driven, much more in depth versus plain TVC. And even in terms of TVC, we concluded this campaign for Perfetti. Perfetti recently launched a new 2 Choco Eclair with Kareena Kapoor. We created a new Choco Zone, where we got more than 20 million video views of the same TVC which was run. What Perfetti did very smartly was that they released this TVC actually first on mobile, on RockeTalk versus on TV. And they did a post survey of their audience, and they figured out that 33% people said that they only saw the TVC and they only recognized now Perfetti as a brand with eclairs because of mobile and not on TV. So we think that's a very big shift. That when people start understanding brands, relating with brands, recognizing brands first on mobile versus TV, it's a very big shift in terms of not just spends, but as a complete trend as an audience base. Because people are actually now spending more time on their mobiles versus not just for communication, but also in terms of basic entertainment. Being much more personalized medium, your rapt attention is on a screen versus when you are watching the TV or hearing anything. So we have realized that with our audience and for brands, the things that have worked are higher engagement things. So what we realized is that if a brand comes on play, and says, it sets up a shop and say, just buy me out. Usually it doesn't work out fit today's audience, because there's so much clutter. Everybody's saying, buy me. What is happening is at RockeTalk, we are trying to create conversation between an audience and a brand. It's not a broadcast mechanism one way. It is actually a two-way dialogue that we have been able to create, and that has been working. I'll give you an example. During last IPL, Nokia launched this whole new concept of Channel Me. A large percentage of Channel Me was then powered by RockeTalk. 85% of videos that came on Channel Me was through RockeTalk audience. What Nokia smartly did, and we held their hands, we created Nokia Channel Me as a community on RockeTalk, which within 2 weeks got 30,000 members. Now these 30,000 members are even live today, and that group today, even without any promotion, is growing every day. Right? And Nokia has this group to communicate every day. There's this captive audience which has shown interest in Nokia activities around cricket. So this community, Nokia has this group which is growing on its own every day, and a captive audience where it is communicating, creating that dialogue conversation every day. So whether it is the launching of a new phone or a new accessory, or just telling what's happening in the company as it is. So the challenge for brands today in this hyper cluttered scenario is how to get that 2 minutes from an audience
Of attention.
and 2 minutes of attention. And I guess this new way of conversation and dialogue is helping to do that. I think brands now have to mature. Typically brands said, okay, we will do something digital and on social, and they pretty early on got on a trap of getting Facebook likes,
Right.
without realizing that the likes don't do anything for them. It's again a broadcast mechanism that they're doing, which is only telling you that you are gaining one more audience base, one more number in the whole larger scheme, that I will be able to push my message. Whereas brands have to actively engage the audience in a conversation, in a game. Right, so that, the advertising and marketing game has now changed from broadcast, and it is rapidly changing from broadcast. About from me to let's talk. And if the brands are unable to change rapidly on that part, they will realize that they will start losing mind share of the audience. So, yes, I can tell primarily on RockeTalk, right? So when we started out, we realized that. The general ticket size of a campaign on mobile, because what happens is digital usually gets 2% of the whole marketing spend, and out of that 2%, mobile gets another 2%. So it's 2% of 2%. Because the market is usually extremely small. So the typical ticket size in the industry, the average industry is around $2,000 to $4,000, which is around 2 to 4 lakh rupees. Fortunately, with all the kick-ass stuff that we're able to do, we're able to convince brands and the engagement that we've given, the average ticket size on RockeTalk is around $20,000, which is around minimum 10 lakh rupees. That is what is happening. So at least we have realized that at least on our network we've been able to get higher ticket sizes. Today, yes, there are lesser brands who have shown trust, but we've been able to convince larger brands and increase the ticket size. So where the industry average is still, $2,000 to $4,000, RockeTalk is actually now doing minimum $20,000 campaign, and a larger set of campaigns which are also $100,000 campaign, 50 lakh rupees, 60 lakh rupees worth of campaigns. So we are very bullish at this point of time that as our network grow, as the brands get more entrenched, the size will increase. The overall industry size will also increase. At the same point of time, high value advertisement on mobile will be more valued. So though the early adopters were Nokia, Samsung, Google, which are the largest spenders, but brand like Puffy, which is one of the regular spenders, which is actually a completely consumer brand, a chocolate candy brand, it's also has shown tremendous trust on RockeTalk coming back again and again. And as I said, 20 million video views, another 15 million. So 20 million video views of the TVC of the dinner court, another 15 million video views of the making of TVC. Around 15,000. Entries of the great small contest. We said, how would if you want to dance with Reena, how would you dance? Higher engagement also part of what we see. So a candy brand getting that kind of engagement, right? A brand like Bosch & Long, what we did for Bosch & Long was we created an offline married online activity, which was done only for Jaipur and Chandigarh, where we asked college students on RockeTalk, in those two cities, that why don't you upload your pictures with glasses and without glasses? And we opened up to 1 million of users saying hot or not, whether you find this picture hot or not, with and without glasses. And then suggesting that this is the nearest ophthalmologist where you can get a free trial of Bosch & Long. It's a very successful campaign. So it's not just the tech brands, it's not just the Google, Nokias and Samsungs of the world, but brands like Puffy, brand like everybody. As I said, the engagement will be the biggest trend. High value interactive video.
Okay.
High value interactive video will be the new trend that will come out. So mobile video is actually has it's at this point extremely at the tip of the iceberg, in terms of not just spend but what brands can do with it. We at RockeTalk is also very experimental with kick-ass technology where the video becomes more interactive. So we will do much more with it for the brands, and I think that will be the larger trend that will come up. High engagement value adds.